Hajime arrived at the class trial room, dreading the fact that he was gonna have to find out who killed 2 people. Welcome everyone to a new class trial. This one is gonna be quite special, since we're dealing with 2 people who've died instead of just 1.
Come on, Hajime, you're so smart here, so solve it.
Fine, I'll try, but I won't be as good at this as you, MR Ultimate Lucky Student.
How formal of you, Mr. Ultimate Normie.
Hajime rolled his eyes at Nagito's sarcastic comment. He really wanted to just punch him in the face, but he knew that it wouldn't do any good.
Okay, yeah, very funny. Let's just try and find out who the victims are. After thinking a bit, I'm sure the first victim is Mahiru Koizumi. As for the second victim, I think it's probably Pico Piccoloma. Now that I have a good idea of who the victims are, we should try to discuss the crime scene and find clues pointing to the killer.
We already know this. Monokuma even told us the names of the victims.
The victims were Pico and Mahiru.
Right, I'm an idiot. I wasn't actually thinking about that. We can skip this part.
Yes, come on faster, so far things are not going well for you.
Fine, whatever. So then, what should our next step be? Should we investigate the scene of the crime first? Well, to start things off, there was a pretty obvious sign of a struggle on the floor in the dining hall. There's even some blood on the floor, so it seems that the 2 victims were taken by surprise and fought with their killer. Not only was there a struggle, there was also a lot of clutter on the floor of the dining hall, including shattered glasses and spilled soup. It's hard to tell if they're just random, or if they are hinting us towards the direction of the culprit. Obviously, they mean that the struggle we found signs of earlier was a physical fight, rather than an argument. The glasses and the soup were knocked off the table due to the fight, and the shattered glass and spilled soup is what caused the blood stain on the floor. The fact that there's both spilled soup and shattered glass on the floor makes me believe that this was most likely an unexpected assault. This could possibly be due to the attacker being desperate and not wanting to get caught, which could mean that the attacker didn't really have a solid plan in mind to do this. If this was an attack of desperation, it's safe to assume that a strong emotional motive was driving the attacker to do such a thing. Perhaps they were acting out in blind anger, or maybe they just wanted to get rid of the victims because they thought it was their only option. Well, unfortunately this doesn't help us narrow down the list of suspects. The only real thing we can do is hope that we find something more concrete in the other places that were involved in this case. Obviously, since there were shattered glasses and spilled soup in the dining hall, something must have caused the glass to shatter and the soup to spill. The kitchen and the garbage room will probably have more signs of how this happened.
By the way, I was in the trash room all this time, since I live there, so I know what happened and who the killer is.
Wait, what? How do you know that? Why didn't you say anything about it until now?
Because Smarty Pants Hajime said he could find the killer without my help, so go ahead, detective.
Okay, fine, I'll keep going. So we know that we'll have to check out the garbage room and the kitchen to get more clues about this case. But first, I think it's important to discuss who might have had a motive to murder the victims. Since 2 people have died in this case, there should be 2 separate motives, one for each person. However, I believe that the 2 motives could have been related in some way. One of the victims was Mahiru Koizumi. From what I remember, she was a very kind girl, which is why it surprises me that she could have gotten on someone's bad side. But perhaps we should think about who could have been upset with her. There could be someone who was envious of her, or had a grudge against her, or something like that. The other victim was Pico Piccoloma. She was a very quiet girl, and I don't remember ever talking to her. The fact that such a quiet person was murdered leads me to believe that someone planned to murder her in advance. The attacker obviously would have had to have a very specific reason to murder Pico. Perhaps it was due to a personal grudge, or a revenge motive, or even some random hate crime. As I said before, Mahiru was a very kind person. She cared deeply for her friends and wanted to help those around her. That kind of attitude could lead to someone being envious of her, or just plain resentful of her. Perhaps someone was so annoyed by her that they saw her as an obstacle, so they wanted to get rid of her. I think the attacker was someone who was jealous of Mahiru. Her caring attitude and friendly nature could easily cause someone to get jealous. And, considering that Pico was an innocent victim, her killer must have felt strongly enough about Mahiru to murder Pico as well. The only person I can think of right now who could have been jealous of Mahiru is Hiyoko Seonji.
Wrong, Hyoko was friends with Mahiru and would not kill her, right, Hyoko?
Of course I wouldn't kill Mahiru. I cared a lot about her, and she was a good friend of mine.
Well, Normie, you screwed up again.
Well, if it's not Hiyoko, that it could be someone else. There's still plenty of people in the room with us who could have had a grudge against Mahiru.
Do you even consider the possibility that the killer might already be dead?
I guess I hadn't considered that, to be honest. So you're saying that the killer might have committed suicide?
It's up to you to decide, because I shouldn't help you at all, since you wanted to investigate this case yourself.
Right, I forgot about you. Look, yes, I wanted to solve this alone, but right now that's not working out, okay? I honestly have no idea who the killer is and I need your help.
Okay, I'll help, but you have to admit that I'm the only one who's capable of figuring stuff out and that you're brainless idiot.
Sighed loudly. Fine, Nagito. I admit it, you're the smart one and I'm the brainless idiot. Now, please just help with this case.
Haha, okay. I was in the trash room, so I saw Mahiru kill Pico. And then herself, so Mahiru is the killer.
Wait, what? Mahiru killed Pico, and then killed herself?
Yes, such despair, but it is what it is.
Seriously? Are you sure that you saw this actually happen?
Bliat, you moron. I told you that I was in the trash room and saw everything.
Right. You were in the garbage room and saw everything. And you're saying that you actually saw Mahiru kill Pico and then kill herself?
Yes, Monokuma, start voting.
Alrighty then. Are you guys all set to cast your votes? Wow, I'm so proud of all of you for getting the criminal correct, not that it was a surprise, though.
Well, Hajime, you sucked at the trial without me.
Hajime was still annoyed by the fact that Nagito was so much smarter than everyone else in the class.
Yeah, you're a genius and I'm an idiot. Are we done yet?
Yes, let's get out of here already.